All right, round two. Horace, I have a very, very serious question to ask you. Did you eat paint chips as a child, or are you licking window panes? Are you currently on drugs, prescribed or otherwise? I don't know. But for somebody who claims that they played multiple MMOs, you kind of exposed yourself by calling a target dummy in combat logs parsing. Let's repeat that. You claim to have played multiple MMOs, and you just called a target dummy in combat log parsing. Now, see, this is why I can't take any of you serious, especially if you're on console, because usually it's console players who really do fuck this up a lot. DCUO does not allow parsers. Even Obsidian walked a fine line in calling his research parsing, right? Because he used Excel, he extrapolated the information he got to use Excel to put out the spreadsheets, which none of you do. Okay? I played with Obsidian. I've only had one thing to ever say to Obsidian, ever, in the entirety, on and off, that we've been in test. And that's where I played with him. I was always on the test server during the new raids and stuff. And the only time I've ever had the debate is when he came out with the video talking about Leonard's amulet. And then he corrected himself after I said something. So even me and Obsidian, you can ask Obsidian. If you were to talk to him, he'd be like, yeah, I played with Mystic in the past. Of course. We were on test. So, because I always tested out what was coming up as far as the content when it was easier to access. Now I don't even fucking bother. Like I said, this game was my chill game up until you dipshits. I'd never liked the word meta, but Obsidian always was diligent. But procs, I think I even remember telling him that procs are not worth it. Okay, the video I made wasn't to parse. I don't have a parser. I have a combat log and I have target dummies. I don't even give you guys my full rotation. You might see my toolbar, but I don't even give you my full rotation. Okay? The whole thing about it is, you're the one who stepped in this hole. Because if you look up the terms and agreement, DC doesn't allow third-party programs and parsers. And that's what a parser does. Parsers is a third-party tool that doesn't only take into effect your damage and the modifiers, but your entire team's. All the buffs applied, all debuffs on target, all damage coming out, all healing coming in, all variables are processed through the parser. If you don't know that, because the combat logs only reflect what you are doing or receiving, not your teams. So if you've never used a third-party program, you've never parsed, because majority of games do not allow parsers. I think there's maybe one or two. I think ESO did put an in-game parser in eventually because there was too many people complaining about not having access to the parsers. They were, relying on the target dummies, but target dummies don't move. They don't fire back. And then you get different defensive stats based on the content. So a lot of players wanted a parser, a true parser. But since I know numbers and I used to test, I can pretty much just do the numbers, like right here, check it out. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's correct. I thought it was. But see, because that's probably why you suck, dude. It's probably why. Because you never actually had a parser. You've never played with a parser. And if you haven't, well, it shows. Because only dipshits refer to target dummies as parsing. No real hardcore raider will ever call a target dummy a parse. Congratulations, you are the fucking weakest link. Goodbye.